The more you study the markets, the more you realize it's all the same game. The same players, the same outcome, and by 2025, the illusion of diversification is over. If the global economy is rigged for the few who control the capital, then maybe the smartest thing you can do is to invest in the ones who built the rig. This is my investment thesis for the present and the future. Buy Bitcoin, buy BlackRock, and nothing else. Every investor wants to believe they're making independent choices, picking stocks, choosing funds, chasing alpha. But look deeper and you realize almost every major fund, ETF, pension, and index is controlled by the same few companies, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. Together they manage over $20 trillion and collectively own huge stakes in Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Shell, Exxon, JP Morgan, and many more companies. No matter which company you invest in, chances are you're indirectly investing in them already. In other words, BlackRock is the market. They didn't just invent capitalism, they manage it too. And let's have it right. Let's call it what it is. It's financial feudalism. A new world where the control of assets has replaced ownership. Ordinary people don't own much anymore. They lease, subscribe, or borrow. Homes are owned by property funds, stocks by ETFs. Even your pension is just a line item inside a $1 trillion spreadsheet managed by algorithms. And at the center of this network is BlackRock. They own data analytics through Aladdin, an AI system that tracks and models over $21 trillion in assets globally. They advise central banks and governments on policy. They manage environmental funds while also owning fossil fuel giants. They're not just playing the game, they're writing the rules and being paid by every team to do it. So when you buy a BlackRock stock, you're not betting on one industry, you're buying into the entire global economy. And more importantly, into the people who profit from every single outcome. But then there's the other half of my thesis, Bitcoin. And on the surface, it couldn't be any more different. Where BlackRock represents total centralization, Bitcoin represents total decentralization, a financial network that no government or corporation fully controls. If BlackRock owns the world's assets, Bitcoin owns none. And that's what makes it powerful. In a world drowning in debt, quantitative easing, and inflationary policy, Bitcoin is digital scarcity in a sea of printed money. Government can print currency, corporations can manipulate market, but Bitcoin supply is hard-coded, 21 million coins ever. It's the anti-BlackRock, a digital rebellion that exists outside of the banking system entirely. And yet, ironically, BlackRock is now buying it. In 2024, BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF finally went live, and with it something profound happened. The system that Bitcoin was meant to disrupt joined it. Institutional money flooded in, traditional investors gained exposure without touching a wallet or private key, and suddenly, Bitcoin wasn't just an outsider's asset anymore, it became a part of the portfolio of the very elite it was built to escape. The revolution has been bought by the empire. Now, think about what this means for your investment thesis. If Bitcoin wins, BlackRock wins. If the system collapses, Bitcoin thrives. Either way, you're holding exposure to both the controller and the counterweight. It's not idealistic, it's real politic investing. You're not betting on who's right, you're betting on who can't lose. Now, traditional investing says diversify, spread your risk and own a bit of everything. But in 2025, that logic is collapsing. When markets move, they all move together. A tech crash would drag down energy, inflation drives rates, and rates destroy housing. Everything is connected and everything is fragile. So why pretend there's diversification in a system where all paths lead back to the same three firms? If everything is correlated, diversification becomes illusion. Real protection means being both inside and outside the machine. That's why BlackRock and Bitcoin represent to me both ownership of the machine and exit of the machine. The 2020s are becoming the decade where global economy redefines value. Central banks are issuing digital currencies, governments are deep in debt, AI is rewriting productivity, and financial power is consolidating faster than ever. We're heading towards a world where everything is tokenized, monitored, and monetized. The line between money, data, and power will vanish. So you can either fight the system or own a stake in it. BlackRock is the system, Bitcoin is the firewall. Together, they might be the only two assets that survive the next financial reset. And honestly, this isn't just about money, it's about agency. Bitcoin represents freedom, a decentralized escape hatch from a failing monetary system. BlackRock represents power, the institutional infrastructure that keeps that system running. Holding both is like holding both sides of a chessboard. It's not moral, it's strategic. You can't beat the game if you refuse to understand it, but once you do, you realise the smartest move is to hold both the king and the pawn. So my investment thesis for the future is simple. The system is broken, but it's not ending anytime soon. So I invest in the hand that built it and the code that might replace it one day. BlackRock is control, Bitcoin for freedom, and two sides of the same coin, and the only positions worth holding.